Welcome to the Becoming You show, where limits get torched and possibility takes the mic. I'm Leah Roling, human in permanent beta, neurostrategist, mom to 3 amazing humans, married to 1 legendary soul, and your no fluff permission slip to stop waiting. Every week, we rewire brain patterns, smash hand-me-down mindsets, and dive into the daring, identity-shifting conversations most people dodge. Ready to turn potential into proof? Grab your pen. Your next chapter starts now. Hello, my beautiful friend. How are you? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Becoming You show. I am your host, Leah Roling, and if you've been with me through this entire series, thank you. Truly, thank you, because this hasn't been light work, right? We've talked about confidence, what it is and what it isn't. We offered up that it's not something that you lack. Like we don't lack confidence, we lack evidence. We talked about fear and confidence being kind of inversely related, kind of like a teeter-totter. We talked about courage being the bridge. We talked about comparison, right? And how the only comparison that actually builds you is you versus yesterday. We talked about discomfort being the gym. And today we're going to close with probably one of the sneakiest confidence killers of all. And that is perfectionism. And before you're like, yeah, I've heard about this, on to the next thing, I want you to stay with me for a beat, because we're going to bring it forward in a way that maybe you've not understood it or integrated it. So perfectionism is not excellence. I call it overdressed fear. It looks polished. It looks responsible. It looks high achieving. It looks disciplined. But underneath, it's protection, right? And it's stealing your progress. It's robbing you from the momentum in your life that I know that you want. It's the email, right, that you rewrote 14 times and still haven't sent. It's the idea that you've been working on for months that no one has seen. It's the version of you that says that you're being just really thoughtful, right? I really want to think through this. And so we overthink and we ruminate when really we're probably just hiding. And I say that with so much love. Me too, right? Me too. So let's dismantle this word, if we can, for just a minute. I want you to think about the root of the word, perfectionism. Perfect. To perfect, okay? To perfect something originally meant to refine it, right? And how do you refine anything? You refine it through iteration, right? Through trial and error, through failing and trying again, through experimentation. Right? It was never, hear me say this, it was never meant to be flawless. But somewhere along the way, we changed the definition. We gathered and acquired a new one, right? You take a test. You miss 2 questions. You get a 98. And instead of celebrating the 98 correct answers, we circle the 2 wrong ones in red, right? You didn't get a perfect score. You missed something. You did something wrong. And that's one example. Think about how that wires the brain. Think about how all of that evidence in lack, in scarcity, in not enoughness, in wrongness, think about how that wires the brain. Mistakes then equal threat. Error equals exposure, embarrassment, rejection. Criticism equals danger. So your brain does what it's designed to do. It protects you. And guess how it protects you? Perfectionism. Perfectionism then becomes the strategy. I want you to think about this. If it's flawless, then I'm safe. If it's perfect, I won't be judged. If it's polished enough, I won't be exposed. But if we're really honest with ourselves, we understand that perfectionism is not excellence. Excellence says, let me get better. Perfectionism says, let me not be seen until I am. Excellence produces, it puts things out into the world, it creates, it innovates. Perfectionism procrastinates, it protects. Excellence builds confidence. Perfectionism delays it. And here's the part that we don't talk about enough. It works. Perfectionism works, right? It keeps you. It keeps you from being judged. It keeps you from failing publicly. It keeps you from finding out what happens if you actually try. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. The strategy is incredibly effective, but it keeps you where you are. It keeps you right where you are. It doesn't expand you. It reinforces your current abilities, but that's not what I'm interested in. I don't really care about what you're currently able to do. What I care about is who you could be, the becoming of you, the capacity of you, which requires us really taking a look at this strategy that is wickedly effective, but keeps you stuck, keeps you small, keeps you in this box. It keeps you thinking that there has to be more, and there is. So I want to I want to bridge that idea to another one. Your brain, your brain is something that we could call a psychological immune system. Okay, hold with me here on this. So think about like a psychological immune system. Okay, it is constantly scanning for social threat. It's constantly scanning for criticism and embarrassment and rejection and failure. And when it detects those things, it reacts as if your survival is at stake. And to your brain, it is. Okay, because research shows that social rejection, right, activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. The amygdala in the brain doesn't know the difference between physical pain and emotional pain, right? So when you consider putting something that's imperfect into the world, your brain reads danger. Okay? That's why your heart races before you hit send. That's why when you open a document that requires a level of intentionality, right? You suddenly feel tired. It's why it's why you scroll instead of finishing. You delay the very thing because what would happen when you finished it? What's going to happen then? Well, then you have to put it out into the world. And that's not lazy, friends. That's not laziness. That's protection. And perfectionism steps in as the solution, as the strategy. Again, if I wait until it's perfect, I won't get criticized. If I refine it more, I won't be exposed. There's nothing to expose. If I delay, I won't fail. They call this failing ahead of time. That's what they call it. But then we just justify that. Here's the trap. It feels productive. It works, but it also leads to procrastinating. It looks like A plus work that never ships. It looks like ideas that never launch. It looks like leadership that never speaks. You cannot, you cannot build confidence. Think about this, you guys. We cannot build confidence around work no one sees. You cannot build courage around risks that you won't take. Confidence is built through output, not contemplation, not polishing, not not refiguring, not retooling, not overthinking and labeling that being thoughtful. Output. Output. So what do?
What do we do? Well, we don't wait to feel ready, right? We take massive action, scared. Every time we do that, we train our nervous system. We inject kind of imperfection on purpose, small doses, one take, 70% done, B plus work, right? We send before we feel ready. We set a timer and we ship. We publish the messy draft. We have the imperfect conversation. And I want you to actually do this. This equates to kind of what we talked about last week, reps in the gym. Every time that you put B plus work out into the world, when you really would prefer to have A plus work, or every time you put B minus work out into the world, when you really would prefer to have A plus work, that is equivalent to an emotional rep, a rep in the gym, because it requires a little bit of emotional pain. It requires a little bit of courage. So I want you to do this today. I want you to pick that one thing, that one email, that one post, that one decision, that one conversation. And I want you to do it at 70%. Not because you're lazy, but because you're training your nervous system to survive visibility. I want to say that again. Okay? I want you to take that risk. I want you to take that chance. I want you to have that conversation. I'm not saying you come in ill prepared. I'm asking you to meet it at 70%. And every time you meet it at 70%, you're training your nervous system that you can survive visibility. You can survive rejection. You can survive feedback. You can survive critique. This is not a productivity exercise. This is identity training. And every time you survive imperfection, every time you do, your brain updates. Oh, huh, we didn't die, right? We can handle this. You send the imperfect email. You don't die. You post the imperfect content. You don't collapse. You lead the imperfect meeting. You survive. And that level of survival builds confidence. Perfection does not build confidence. Perfectionism delays opportunities for courage. Courage builds confidence. So let's just take this one step deeper, okay? Perfectionism isn't just something that you do. It's not just random. It's someone that you've learned to be. It's an identity, right? And if you know if I'm talking to you, because you're like, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. Because guess what? That's me. Okay? It's someone that you've learned to be. The responsible one. The one that has it all together. The one that has the answers. The one that doesn't complain. The one that, right? The polished one. The one who gets it right. The one that doesn't make mistakes. The one that only raises their hand when they 1,000% know the answer. Otherwise, we're just going to wait for other people to fail, to answer the question, right or wrong. That's identity. And what I will offer, it probably served you. Scratch that. It has served you. It has for sure. You've probably gotten praise. You've probably gotten approval. You've probably gotten validation. You're so smart. You're so put together. You're so thoughtful. But it's also costing you your expansion. Do you want to know how I know this? Because it cost me mine. That next version of you requires visibility, more visibility. It requires you being your youest you, not somebody else, right? Because that's safer. Because then if they reject that person, they're rejecting them, not me. We don't need more other people. There's 7 billion people on the planet. You exist for a reason. It's not random. You are unique. We need you. We need your visibility into the world. And that, beautiful, requires risk. It requires imperfection on purpose. So let's redefine confidence. And let's sum up these beautiful 4 conversations that we've gotten to have with one another. Confidence is not I am perfect. Confidence is I can handle imperfection. I can handle feedback. I can handle mistakes. I can handle being seen while I'm growing. I can handle being wrong. Scratch that. I'm willing to be wrong on purpose. I know that I'm the problem because if I'm the problem, guess what else is true? I'm the solution. Tell me how I'm wrong about this. I want to know. That's where growth happens, not in ease, but in these type of conversations. That is strength. That is resilience. That is power. So if you have been hiding behind perfectionism, like I have spent a good ordinate amount of time hiding behind. If you've been waiting to feel more ready, if you've been polishing something for months, I just want you to know that I see you, right? And there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need fixed. You're not broken. You're beautiful and you're protecting. And it makes sense. It makes sense that you would want to do that. But I want you to be on to yourself. I want you to be on to your mind. I want you to be on to why it is that you're doing this. And I want you to recognize that all of that protection is keeping you limited. And I want you limitless. It's keeping you contracted, and I want you to be expansive. It's keeping you smaller than I believe you to be, and that you probably believe yourself to be. And I see you. I see you. I see the thing that you have not started. I see the conversation that you've been avoiding. I see the version of you that you keep saying you'll become. When? If? When this happens, right? When my kids are gone, when there's a promotion that's available, when I have more energy, when summer starts, when summer ends, next year, in 5 years. And I want you to hear this from me, and I want you to feel the love that I'm extending it with. Readiness is not coming. Readiness is not coming. It's something you build. You build it. You build readiness. You build it through reps. You build it through discomfort. You build it through imperfect progress. You build it through action scared, right? This level of confidence, it's not loud, it's not flashy, it's sturdy. It's built on a self-trust that you have your own back, that you know that you can handle anything, that you know that adversity is not just something that happens to you, but it happens to humans. That adversity, right, in life is something that we should, instead of be blindsided by, expect it. That we use adversity as a skill, as an invitation to become stronger and smarter and a more valuable version of ourselves. We know that we can handle it because we know that there's not an emotion that we can't. We know that we can handle rejection. We can handle embarrassment. We can handle criticism. We can handle fear. There's not an emotion that we cannot handle. And when you actually know that, you build that level of confidence that allows you to be unstoppable. Because when you know that there's not an emotion that you can't handle, you will stop being scared of your life. You'll stop being scared of the capacity of who you could become. You'll stop being scared of bigness that your life holds for you. That level of confidence, that level of self-trust, that level of self-efficacy, it's built. It's built practicing one rep at a time. And so my hope in this entire conversation this month isn't just to inspire you. If it did, great. If you shared it, thank you. But more than that, I wanted it to activate something in you. I don't want these podcasts, these conversations to just be consumed. Right? Because as you know, we don't do what we know. So you can listen to these conversations all day long and you can either agree or disagree and nod your head or not. That doesn't change behavior. What changes behavior is a mindset, a feel set, an identity shift around the patterns that you orient yourself into. I don't want you to consume these podcasts. I want you to train with them. And if you don't want to train on your own, I am inviting you, like I have in all of these podcasts, to train with us, inside of the membership. We don't just talk about these tools, we practice them daily with structure, with accountability, with support, with coaching. This is where confidence actually gets built. And if this series has impacted you at all, and you're like, gosh, if I just had more confidence, again, confidence is a decision that you make with accountability and practice. Come with us. Come into the membership. The membership link is in the show notes. We would love to have you in there. If the series has inspired you, share it with somebody. Enroll someone else into the membership with you. Right? Send it to someone you love. Send it to someone you lead. Send it to someone who needs this conversation. Because there are a lot of people out there that are waiting. They're waiting to feel ready. They're waiting for that thing to happen. They're waiting for that someday. They're wondering for that if, that when. And what they need to hear is that it's now. It's now. You build it. It does not come. And you can build it. One rep, one gain, one uncomfortable action, one imperfect send, right? At a time. So I want you to know that I see you and I believe in this version of you that is brave enough to build, that is brave enough to invest in themselves, to not just consume this work, but to integrate it, to embody it, to show up with other fearless leaders and courageous leaders just like you, just like you. So if you are interested in learning more about the membership, check out the link. And either way, I just want you to hear me say that I thank you, that I appreciate you for spending this 30 minutes of your time, half that if you put me on 2x. I know you. I just appreciate you because in a world where we could be distracted by 1,000 other things, you are distracted by your own growth. And I honor that. And I honor that in you. So until next time, beautiful friends, have an amazing one. I hope to see you in the membership. And if not, I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a beautiful one, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. If this episode cracked something open, good. Let it. And then head to leahrolingcoaching.com and grab the tools to rewire the story and reclaim your future. It is yours. And then share this with someone who's still waiting to be chosen, still waiting for permission, and remind them they don't need a breakthrough, that they are the breakthrough. Until next time, my beautiful friends, invest in you and keep becoming.